everyone, welcome to Mountain Road. I'm Kristen, and today I'm talking to you from Las Vegas, of all places. This is my first time here. It's Beyond's second time. We're here because he has a conference that he's working at, and I'm just tagging along. So I thought, what better video to bring you than talking about some of my tips and tricks for how to stay healthy while traveling. And especially in a place like Vegas that is not known for health and wellness, more for staying out all night and gambling and drinking. So I'm going to talk with you guys about some of the things that I do just to keep my immune system boosted while I'm away from home. I have a tendency to get sick when I fly. I know a lot of people do, and it's no wonder. I mean, number one, it's a lot of stress to prepare for a trip. It's a lot of anxiety and a lot of time, and maybe even missed sleep the night or two before traveling. It was for me in this case. I was really having a hard time falling asleep, knowing that I had to get up early. We had to be up by 5 and be at the airport by 6:30, and just running through my mind all the different things about what I packed, and was I forgetting anything? So there's a lot of anxiety involved in leaving home. And then if you're flying, that has all kinds of other health effects. It's just not healthy for us. It's amazing technology to be able to get from one place to another so quickly, but in terms of health, it's really not that great. We've got radiation coming at us from the plane, and all the germs from the bathroom and all that stuffy air that's recirculated. And then also a lot of the food that's offered on flights is really not healthy at all, very overly processed and full of preservatives. So what do? I do a lot of things. So first of all, I pack supplements and also boost myself with some immune boosting supplements before traveling. And in this case, prepping for this trip, I was also eating very, very well, having a lot of chicken soup and bone broth and raw vegetables and free-range meat, and staying away from grains and processed foods. That's my own personal thing. For you, you're going to have to figure out which foods you may or may not have reactions to, and then it's a good idea to, before you're flying or before you're traveling, to write down some goals for things that you want to avoid. Like if you want to stay away from grains, if you want to stay away from dairy, or even just something simple like dessert. Maybe you don't want to have dessert every single night, or maybe once during a whole week that you're traveling, whatever it is, coming up with the goals of how you want to eat while you're on your trip. So that's one thing. And then all the different things to pack. I get a little neurotic about this, a little OCD, but when you're away from home and you get into that hotel room, you just really want some of your home comforts and things that are just going to help you be comfortable and just be a little bit more healthy. And so supplements, I pack this time around. I brought magnesium, and I'm so glad that I did, because I got a headache a couple of hours after we arrived at our hotel. So I took 2 magnesium pills, and then I took a long nap over an hour. Fortunately, my schedule would allow for that, and I think that's another great tip is, if you can, I know it's not always possible, but if you can, to give yourself a full day to recover from traveling before you plan, dinner with family or friends, or activities, sightseeing and that sort of thing. Just giving yourself that day to fly or to drive, whatever mode of transportation you're taking, and then just to have a nice nap and have a good early bedtime. And so fortunately I was able to take a nap after we arrived, and when I woke up, the headache was still there lightly. I don't get headaches very often. When I do, it's generally dehydration. So I also packed Metagenics Endura. Vian and I both love this stuff. He takes it on the bike with him whenever he's training, and it's just a really great way to load back up on electrolytes. I don't drink it as much as he does, but whenever I get a headache, I drink it right away, and most of the time it really helps to take away that headache. That plus a good meal will usually do the trick. So that's what I did. I drank that, and then I went and found a nice meal. I had some roasted chicken with some rice and broccoli, and after that I felt much better. And then of course, when you arrive at your location, it's also great to get some outdoor time. It also kind of depends on where you're traveling. When I traveled to Ireland once, it was overcast and rainy the day that I arrived, and it took me forever to get over that jet lag. But when I go to South Africa, when there's so much sun, especially in the Johannesburg area, I barely have jet lag generally, because we arrive, the way the flights work is you get there late at night, or, around maybe 8 o'clock at night, go to your wherever you're staying, and go to sleep after a nice meal, and wake up and just be outside in the sunshine as much as possible, and that'll really help your body to adjust to the jet lag and the time adjustments. A good night's sleep is so critical, especially that first night. But it's up to you if you're going to adjust to the local time of where you're staying, or if you're going to stay on your home time, depending on if it's just like 2 or 3 days that you're going to be gone. I know a lot of people like to keep their clocks, their watches, and their phones set to the time back home, and so then mentally you're prepared, and you're kind of like staying on that time frame as well. So depends on personal preference, but that jet lag can be really, really tough. But sunshine helps a lot, as does good sleep, naps, and 8 hours of sleep at night. And then, other supplements that I take along are vitamin C. Vian and I both take this at night usually, just as something to boost our immune systems with. And probiotics, I take them in the morning, and that also, really helps support the gut, and which also helps to support the immune system. And Bow Iron makes some incredible homeopathic remedies, and particularly Cold Calm is a great one to take along while traveling. This one, anytime I start to get a little bit of a tickle in my throat, I take their tablets, and it more times than not really helps to prevent the coming of a cold. So that's great. That plus eating well, and making some of these lifestyle choices like good sleep will generally help me, at least, to fend off a cold. And then also essential oils can be really amazing for maintaining your health. I learned a trick back when I had mono a couple of years ago. I was in South Africa. We had just gotten married. I got mono, and then I had to travel back to the U.S. during that time while I was recovering from that sickness. But I learned during that time to take tea tree oil with me on the plane, and then just dab some on my nose several times throughout the flight, and that will add a bit of moisture because that air is so dry, so it just helps a little bit to moisturize. And it also just helps to, it's a little bit of an antibacterial for the air that you're breathing. And so that helps a lot. Also, Medieval Mix is a great one for helping to prevent sickness. You can take a drop or two of that in some coconut oil, and then rub it on the bottom of your feet at night. And that is a great one to do. And then all the snacks that you want to pack with you. Now, whenever I'm traveling, I bring a ton of snacks. Oh, and I always have a water bottle with me, a reusable glass water bottle, or a stainless steel. I just have that with me all the time in any case, wherever I'm going. But yeah, so that's a really great thing to do. Of course, when you're going through security, you have to like chug your water or dump it out. And then when you get to the other side, you have to, if you want bottled water before you get on the plane, then it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. It's so expensive at the airport. They do, a lot of the airports now have filtered water stations where you can fill up your water bottle, so that's an option. And then of course on the flights there will be water available there. But stay hydrated, that's so important. And then in terms of the food that you want to bring on the plane, now this depends on if you're flying domestically or internationally. Flying internationally, if in terms of produce, you can bring some fruits and veggies on the plane that you're going to eat on the plane, but then after that, when you're getting off the plane, you can't bring any kind of produce into a new country. So just bring a couple. But if you're flying domestically, then you can bring as many fruits and veggies as you want. So this time around, I actually brought 4 avocados, which are $2 each at the Mom's Organic Market where we live. And avocados, when you especially if you ask for a side of avocado, like an upgrade to a meal, can cost you a couple of dollars for maybe even just like a half of an avocado. So $2 for a full avocado. It's really great to bring along for breakfast. You can order an omelet or eggs and bacon, and then have your avocado on the side, maybe some fruit too. So it just provides some added protein and healthy fats while you're on the go. We also want to prevent or avoid waste as much as possible, and so we bring along a lunch bag and some little sandwich containers. I pack a sandwich for Vian. Sometimes I'll bring a gluten-free sandwich for myself as well with gluten-free bread, but right now I'm trying to avoid the grain, so I didn't this time around. But what I did do is I made us some sushi rolls, which just consist of seaweed wraps and sticky rice, some scrambled eggs and bacon. Just mix it all together and then form the rolls. And then I put them in some tin foil and put them in the lunchbox, and that was my breakfast and lunch on the way here. So in addition to produce when you're flying, you can also pack really any kind of snack as long as it's not a liquid. So the 2 things I've ever gotten in trouble for are yogurt and applesauce. Those you can't fly with because they're considered liquid. But other, sandwiches, nuts, apples, bananas, carrots, cucumbers. I have even made like a whole deluxe salad before while flying to South Africa, trying to avoid the processed foods that are on the plane as much as possible, and trying to bring myself some actual meals that I can eat throughout that long 18-hour flight. So bring along some greens I have a reusable glass container that I like to put the salad in, and I added some avocado, and I brought along a lemon wedge that I could squeeze in for some kind of like a fresh dressing, and I brought a packet of tuna. The cans don't work so well because there's so much liquid in them, but just like a packet of tuna, you can add that to a salad. What else? I even had some olives in with the greens and some cucumber and carrots, and so if you add all of that together, even you could bring some hard-boiled eggs. That's a great one as well for whenever you're on the go. It's a full salad, with a ton of protein and fats in it. So, anything is possible, really, just as long as it's not liquid, to bring along on a flight with you. Just be careful about the smell, of course. What else? Okay, and then Vian and I are both germaphobes, so we bring along hand wipes, and the brand Cleanwell has really great hand wipes that you can take, and also hand spray, and the ingredients in that I found are pretty healthy. When we arrived here yesterday after I took my nap and when I was feeling a lot better, I found a CVS, walked over to that, and got us a big jug of water so that we don't have to keep buying small bottles. And number one, that's a ton of plastic that is, unnecessary. And secondly, we're saving a lot of money because these water bottles at hotels can be crazy expensive. So getting a bigger jug of water is great. I also packed some tea bags. I actually don't drink a lot of tea when I'm at home, but I found that when I'm traveling, for whatever reason, it's like this really nice comfort that I miss and that I really want to have. So I pack tea bags, and then you can go to a cafe and ask them for a cup of hot water, and they normally don't charge. Some of the coffee shops might, but it's still going to be a lot cheaper than, I was seeing here, $5 cups of tea. I mean, it's just hot water in a tea bag. So you can save a lot of money that way. And also that also helps to boost your immune system. And especially after being exposed to so much radiation on a plane, it's a really great idea to take an Epsom salt bath, soak in that for 20 minutes. It feels amazing, and it's also just really great for helping to detox from some of the junk that you've been around. Staying active, I brought my yoga mat along, and I've already stretched with it twice since we've been here. I do 15-minute sessions usually daily, that just really helps to get some movement into my muscles and get rid of some tension. And this morning, Vian and I went for a sunrise run along the Strip in Las Vegas, and that'll be another video. It's just a really fun way to explore a new place just by foot, putting on some running shoes and going out there, making sure, as long as it's safe. It's really, really fun. Okay, and then the last thing that I just wanted to mention is just with, keeping in mind the amount of waste and trying to keep down the amount of waste while traveling. I pack some dishcloths and dish soap, and then some plastic utensils so that I can wash those. And also, we have our metal sandwich containers and snack containers. I also have a really adorable set of little cloth baggies that a friend gave me, and so those I put usually apples in or different fruit, and also bringing along some reusable shopping bags as well for when we have the opportunity to go to the grocery store, so we're not using so many plastic bags and throwing away plastic utensils at every meal. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, yeah. But it's the kind of thing that, if all of these things that I'm mentioning sound totally new and foreign to you, maybe pick one or two of them and start implementing those, and then it's just really a matter of building it up. So, these are all things that I've been learning for years, and so hopefully it's helpful to hear if you're somebody who is going to be traveling or loves to travel, but wants to, has been finding that you're getting sick from airplanes and from the stress of travel and wants to, stay healthy. This is what I do, and and if worst case you do get sick, just give yourself rest. Unfortunately, sometimes it means canceling some plans and not being able to see some people, and that's sad, but it really is a matter of self-care above all else, and making sure that you can be at 100% and enjoy what's around you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if so, please hit the like button and share it with your friends who also love to travel. And we'll see you around. Thanks so much.